who have said that to me, but I was the beneficiary. He was a real superstar. I now request Abbas H.M. Nasser, who knows my father for the last good number of years. They've had a very good relationship, very cordial relationship, and I think he will speak on behalf of the community. Mr. Abbas Nasser.
Gentlemen, I feel greatly honored to have been asked by the Karim family to say a few words on this occasion. I knew Yusuf as a prominent member of the Nashri community. I knew Yusuf as a member of Jaffrey Sports Club, where he was an all-rounder in football, cricket and tennis. I knew him as a neighbor of my father and mother, who lived in Kadrabai building just across the road, where he had his sports shop. I knew him as my senior at Technical High School, Mombasa, subsequently renamed as Technical Training Institute, Mombasa. I knew him as a sportsman, the king of the hard courts. I knew him as a member of the senior citizens of Jaffrey Walking Group, where we met every Friday evening. As a father, Yusuf loved his children. His aim was to make them as competent as he was in sports. And I must admit, he achieved his objective during his lifetime. He was a proud father of his sons who excelled in sports and in education. As my senior at Technical High School, he was greatly admired by his fellow students, the teachers and the principal at that time, Mr. Andy Patel, because of his prowess in sports. There were two such persons at Technical High School who enjoyed a lot of respect from the students, the staff and the principal of the high school. One was Mr. Askar M.M. Jaffa, who was a great orator, and he rose to become the world president of the international community. The second one was Yusuf. I still remember that if for any good reason Yusuf or Askar came to the school a bit late, the principal would turn a blind eye. He would pretend that as if he had not seen them coming late. As a sportsman, I still remember him partnering Vienna on these very courts where we are sitting, and also playing against players like Dr. Davidson, Mortimer, and Tajin. Although he had problem in walking in his last years, he still enjoyed the fellowship of the Jaffrey Walking Group at Jaffrey Sports Club, where he turned up regularly every Friday to share fellowship and to enjoy chana bateta and bhajia, which was served after to the walkers. Some of them hardly walked even around. His kindness transcended beyond the community, beyond the racial divides, and beyond the family. I observed his kindness to his driver every Friday when we met together at the Jaffrey Sports Club. After he had his share, he would ensure that his driver also had his share before he left. I beg to differ with William Shakespeare when he says in his play, Julius Caesar, that good that men do is oft interred, means buried with their bones. I say that the good that a man does, in fact, remain alive even after his death. The gathering of friends and relatives here this evening bears testimony that good deeds of a person remain alive even after his death. An ancient Sanskrit saying says, when you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice. The saying befits Yusuf aptly. Our hearts are crying out for him this evening. To the Karim family and his friends, I say we have lost a great personality. It is my prayer to Allah the Almighty that may the departed soul rest in peace, and may Allah give the family and friends the strength to bear this sorrow patiently. Thank you, gentlemen, for lending me your ears.
Thank you very much. Just want to say something else also. My father started as a father for me. He then became my mentor and my role model. And in the last few years, we became friends also. And there were a lot of things we discussed, a lot of things we talked and we communicated. And one of his low days, I sat with him and I said something to him, and I'm so glad that I said to him. Because it's very important to say things, and that has been said by Mr. Pereira very rightly. Why do we not honor somebody when he's breathing? Why do we have to wait for him to die to honor him? I've said it also in many of my interviews, in my articles in the sports magazines that I write, that we need to recognize our people while they are breathing. A lot of people have done a lot of services at various angles, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's social work, whether it's at family, at various levels. So one of the incidents we were discussing, and I told him, look, I said, I am a sportsman, but I always regard you as my dada. You, no matter what I have done, I cannot even contemplate that I'm near you. I said, there are sportsmen in this world, whether it's Tiger Woods, and then those days it was Pete Sampras. I said that every sportsman has a bad season. If he does not have a bad season, he has a bad 6 months. If he does not have bad 6 months, he might have bad 3 months. Even in business, we have a bad patch. If you don't have a bad patch 3 months in life, you may have one bad month. If you do not have one bad month, you at least have one bad day. I said, you did not even have one bad day. To me, you are not ordinary. You are extraordinary. The man did not even have one bad day in 25 years on this court, and every end of the match you would hear game, set, and match to Yusuf Karim for 25 years. To me, that is not ordinary. That is extraordinary. Thank you. I'll now request my elder brother. When my father won his first championship, he was 16 years old in 1951. When he won his 25th tournament on this same very court in 1977, and then he hung up his hood, you can guess who he played. He played my elder brother, who was then 16, in 1977. And so they had a good final, and I don't know what they must have discussed after the game, but the obvious result was my dad won his 25th year. So it's now my greatest pleasure and honor to request my elder brother to come and address you.
Good evening, gentlemen. I am truly humbled by all the speakers that have come before me, and there were a few moments where I actually choked to hear some of the accolades that were given by the speakers before me. I'm here to say a eulogy of my dad on behalf of the Karim family, and I will start with Yusuf Ahmed Karim was born on 2nd February 1935 in Mumbai and migrated to Mombasa in 1937 at the age of 2. He lived in Mombasa until he passed away on 18th March 2009. Our beloved father has been described as an icon, a legend, a role model